welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by and welcome. I share new baking tips and recipes each week, so if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below to stay tuned for more. Today I'm going to show you how to make some delicious Rose Cardamom Shortbread Cookies. And I love shortbread, I don't know about you. And these ones are really unique in that they have that delicious rose and cardamom flavor, and they're actually decorated with edible rose petals. So they're pretty bougie when it comes to cookies. I'm going to show you step by step how to make these cookies, share some tips on how to make perfect shortbread, and it's just going to be a delicious time all around. So let me show you how to make them. Alright, so we're going to start by mixing together our unsalted butter that's at room temperature, and if it's not, you can just soften it up in the microwave for 30 seconds or so. Then add in some powdered sugar and we are going to whisk away. I'm using my hand mixer here, but you could also use a stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment or even just a wooden spoon. But we want to mix this for about 3 to 5 minutes or until it's light and fluffy. You want the butter to be looking a lot lighter and kind of more white in color. And this is going to provide a really beautiful and delicious texture for the cookies, and that's why we're whisking it for so long. Periodically, you do also want to grab an offset spatula like this just to wipe everything down. And then I'm going to add in some vanilla extract and milk, and then I'm going to continue whisking that together just to get all of the liquid ingredients well incorporated. Once that's all done though, it's time to add in the dry ingredients. I'm going to quickly wipe down my counter first before I do that because I got some spills everywhere. And then I'm going to move on to adding in the ground cardamom, a bit of salt, and some all-purpose flour. After you add in those dry ingredients, you really want to be careful not to overmix because this could make the cookies taste a bit too chewy after they're baked. So I just mixed a little bit using my handheld mixer, and then I switched over to my spatula and then even just my hands to really get the dough kind of more cohesive and together. So this dough is pretty soft, so you do want to put it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes or even up to a day to help it firm up before you roll it out. So I just wrapped it up in some plastic wrap here and threw it in the fridge for 30 minutes. This is going to help keep the cookies from spreading too much in the oven, and it makes it easier to roll out. So after the 30 minutes was up, I went ahead and rolled the cookie dough out between 2 sheets of parchment paper, and I did this in 2 stages. I basically split the dough into 2, and you want to roll it to about a 1/2 inch thickness. I honestly made it a little bit too thin here. I think it would have been a little bit more tasty if they were a little bit thicker, so keep that in mind. And at first I tried pulling the cookies up using an offset spatula, but I found a trick later that worked even better. So I'll show you there. But you just want to easily take up the cookies, do it a bit delicately, and then transfer them to a sheet tray lined with parchment paper. And the trick that I found that worked even better was to lift the paper up and pull the cookie away from it like I just showed there. And that was actually really easy to do. So I'm just going to keep re-rolling the cookie dough out. You can even incorporate the scraps that you had earlier. And you're basically just going to cut all them out. This recipe yields about 12 cookies, give or take. So I just kept doing this until I had all of them cut out. And then once they're ready to go, they're going to bake in the oven at 350 degrees for about 12 to 15 minutes. Essentially what you're looking for when they're done is that they're kind of light golden brown, especially on the bottom. And you do want to keep in mind that they will firm up a little bit more once they're out of the oven, so be careful not to overbake. Here I'm just re-rolling the last little bit of the scraps to get as many cookies as possible, and these are pretty much good to go. You're also free to use any cookie cutter you'd like. I just like the pattern of the circle one. So while those are in the oven, I mixed together the rose glaze. And so all this is powdered sugar, milk, rose extract, vanilla extract, and a bit of salt. And I just whisked it all together, and it makes this beautiful glaze consistency. And while the cookies were baking, I just put this in the fridge to firm up a little bit. But by this point, the cookies were done and ready to be decorated. You do want to make sure you wait until they're completely cool before glazing. But I went ahead and just dipped half of the cookie into the glaze and then sprinkled them with edible rose petals. And the rose petals are totally optional. I bought these ones off Amazon, so I can link them below. But they add just a really nice flair, I think. And they even taste pretty good, honestly. So I just decorated half the cookie. You could decorate more, but I like having half of it decorated and half of it bare. And this is how the cookies turned out. They're really delicious. I love shortbread, and this is just such a unique way to make it, and it's just one of my favorite recipes that I really hope you enjoy. And that's a wrap on this video. I really hope you enjoyed walking along with me as we made these delicious shortbread cookies. I know I'm gonna go eat a couple of them today because they're just so tempting. If you want to try them out for yourself, I'm gonna have the recipe linked down below with the instructions and the ingredients, and you can also read more tips over on my blog, The Baker's Almanac. If you did enjoy this video, it really helps support the channel if you hit the like button down below and you also subscribe so you can stay tuned for more content from me. And if you want to see more behind the scenes footage, see more about my recipe development process, make sure to follow along on Instagram, which is just The Baker's Almanac. And it's a really fun time over there as well. But I think that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until the next one, happy baking. I'll see you then. Bye!